Hello guys, and welcome to GA Flying. Today we are in Canada and we'll be flying the Chinook from Miltech Simulations. This is the second part of a campaign that I have already flown. You can see the first part now linked above on the top of the screen. And generally, the first part was just an introduction to the story. So there's like a virus outbreak in one of the towns in the mountains, and we will be providing support. So if you don't want to watch the first part, you will also understand everything when just watching this one. So the first part we have flown with the Bell 206 Long 3 from Coensim, and this one, as you can see, with this military helicopter, because this is also the one that is recommended for this part of the campaign. This is my first video with this helicopter, so I will show you some details, like a short walk around and an overview of it, and then we will proceed. I also tried to fly this second part with the Bell, and it was working fine, but for some reason I couldn't register the objective, right? So I guess I can show you some highlights from the prior flight now. Okay, and now we will try to do the same with the Chinook, and hopefully it will work better. I also went through the editor of this mission, and it seems like there were no bugs, so I'm not sure why it didn't register. Okay, but with this, let's just get in. Well, a lot of switches. Okay, let me get out because I want to show you the walk around options. So maybe you have seen that there has been some updates that are changing the functionality to the 2024 functionality, but I just want to show you that they are very basic. Okay, so maybe first let me show you the changelog. Okay, so the nice thing is that they are updating the plane a lot. You can see one update in September with a lot of features, one update now in January with a lot of features. They have added the new night vision mode, which is great. They have added heat blur, which also looks great, and we will take a look. They have overhauled the whole anti-icing system and also introduced the downwash from 2024, which, depending on the situation, looks great or out of place. But they also have included a trigger that you can like turn it off, which is great. For example, for flying on those Jurassic Park islands that have those like downwash effects totally out of place, right? You are over green, thick grass, but at the same time, it's like over the desert pretty much. So it's great that you can turn it off. And also a lot of collision fixes, physics fixes, LOD fixes. So it's just great that they are still fully supporting it. Okay, so if you want, you can pause it and just read it. Okay, and with this, let me show you the basic walk around features, right? So you need the tooltips for it to be on. Again, here it's sadly not working, right? You can get in. This is also something that I have opened for the load that we'll be using. So this is pretty cool. You can open it from the EFB. The interior looks great. I mean, nothing to complain here. Let's try. I think this also doesn't work. Yeah, for some reason, it's not starting examining it. So as you can see, at least the 2024 walk-around features are very basic, but like it's an old aircraft, so it's nice that they still have done it. So we are flying a Canadian livery. It should be a nice fit. Not sure if I have said it, but we are in Bella Coola in Canada, and I really recommend you to fly from this airport if you haven't already. It's free for everyone, and it just looks great, and the landscape around it is even better, right? Okay, and with this, you can enter it. Let's get the battery because we need it for the EFB. Okay, and we can start closing everything, and there are some nice animations. Yeah, so like always with Miltech, the additional functionality of everything that you are getting is great. But when it comes to flying the helicopters, To be honest, I'm not a very big fan because of all of those like additional systems that are stabilizing the helicopters. For me, they don't really feel like helicopters anymore. That's saying I'm a noob when it comes to flying helicopters, so what do I know? Okay, we also have some integrated missions. That's saying it's also working with the Miltech mission hub that we are using today, so you can get much more missions. Okay, you get the checklists, the fuel, and the load, which is pretty nice. You can add a lot of things inside. We can use this one because it fits the topic today. But you also have external ones that you can hook in right externally, which is also pretty nice. Let's take a look maybe in the back. Oh, this is the medical one, so it doesn't fit in this case because it was supposed to be a virus outbreak, right? So not really. Okay. We will be picking up our cargo today. So this is the Miltech mission hub mission that you can see here. So this is what we will be doing. Okay, let me show you. So when it comes to the manuals, they are all online, like for all Miltech aircraft, right? And they are pretty good. And here you can set up a lot of stuff, including the inside accessories, okay, and outside accessories, and also the sounds, which is pretty nice because there's like a transmission whine inside that is pretty loud and many people don't like it, so you can just lower the volume of it. Okay, and here you can see sabling the downwash. Okay, this was a very long introduction. Let's proceed to flying the helicopter. Okay, so anti-collision light, the battery is already on. I do like to use the checklist because it's pretty unique in how you start it up, right? So I want to make sure everything is fine. Okay, APU switch. So let's start the APU. We just move it to the side. So first to run, let's wait. Okay, and now to start. Okay, APU generator switch, wrong side. You kind of need to get used to the switches because I think the logic of switching them is different than in many other planes. Okay, hydraulic power transfers here. Okay, parking brake is set. FADEC backup power, I'm always forgetting here probably, but let's just make sure. Oh, but because I have clicked on the wrong thing. Yeah, here. Okay, so we have it. Those are on stop. Okay, those fan switches and doors are at the very top. Okay. I still haven't found like a perfect view for the overhead. Okay, troop warn switch. Let's warn them that we are about to start. Pretty nice immersive little detail in this case. Okay, all fuel pumps on. The transfer pump on. Okay, so the fuel cross feed switch, then engine control lever to ground. Okay, and start engine number 1. So luckily you don't have to hold it, right? Despite what they are writing. And this, once it is at 10%, okay, so it's kind of here, we will be able to turn off the ignition. So the sounds are okay. Outside, they sound exactly the same as inside, which is kind of strange. But it's fine. Okay. And now let's just monitor the N1 when it will be at 50%. So there is a nice threshold here. And then we can start starting the next one, then the second engine. Okay, so now once again here, let's just follow it until it's at 10%. Oh, yeah, but first we need to flick the switch. I can show you from the outside. Okay, so this is the outside. This is the inside, as I say. I don't see a difference in sounds, which is strange. But still, the sounds are okay. Okay, so not this yet, not this, so we are here. Okay, and let's wait for them to stabilize. I can also disable those tooltips because we don't need them anymore. So, yeah, I really wish there would be like a hotkey to enable and disable them. Okay. Did we? Yeah, I think it's okay because it's supposed... For a moment I was thinking I did something wrong. Because I was probably never observing them for so long and talking at the same time. So now it's okay. Now we have to flick them back. Okay, so they are at flight, so this is fine. Now we need the generators like in any plane. Okay, so engine generator 1 and 2 is fine. APU generator switch can go to off. This is off. Okay. And those transfers can go to off. And the APU switch can also go to off. Okay. And now the autopilot system, which is here. To both. Okay. And now let's get the other lights. So the other anti-collision light, the position lights, the bright, those are the landing lights on both sides here. And we also should have the pitot heat here. Okay, let me just take a last look. Seems correct. Okay, now the steering on the ground, the wheel steering is here. Okay, and it tells me something is wrong, so let me just see. No, power steer. It's just like informing me that it's off. Okay, here I want the map. You can also move this around if you don't want it here, but I think it even fits, so it's not so bad. Okay, and we want 2, 4, 5. So just say we'll know where we have to fly. Oh, it's the other way around. Yeah, this is like the maximum sound volume that you can set for the rotor in the options, right? So obviously you can make the whole sim louder, right? And here we have the autopilot, we have heading hold and the altitude holds, but they are not very good. But we will talk about this in the air. Let me just maybe switch my view around a little bit. Let's just take a look outside. Here you can see this new 2024 heat effect, which I think is great. It's close to being perfect, I would say. It's like looking very believable. And there is some difference when you pan around the aircraft, right? The sound changes slightly. So yeah, I guess that there is some nuance to the sound. Okay, here we have the parking brake. And let's just start to pick up the cargo here. Let's add some power. The rotors are tilted forward, right? So it will just start driving. You don't have to tilt it forward, like many other helicopters that have wheels, right? You can also eject this whole door here, so then you will have much better visibility to the side, but you cannot bring it back and it won't change the sound, sadly. So you won't hear more. And as far as I know, there is also no option to just open a window to have better sound. So pretty much what we hear is what we get here. Yeah, the views here are just amazing. Okay, let's just accelerate a little bit. Yeah, the problem that I have with this one is that I'm either too close, I'm either too slow or much too fast. It's very easy to overspeed this aircraft, but at the same time it's picking up speed very slowly. If you are like not doing it very violently, right? If you don't tilt the whole helicopter very quickly. Yeah, so what I like with this one is obviously the view. It's like much better than the MH60, for example. Yeah, great place. Okay. Okay, so parking brake. We're turning off steering and we can start. Whoops, strange things happening. No, I just mean this tilting to the side because in the beginning today when I was starting the flight, I have some strange right input that I couldn't turn off. I was thinking maybe it's my keyboard that is going crazy, and now for a second we have seen it again, so let's hope that it won't come back, right? And now it accelerates really fast, so let's just trim it out. So you will raise the nose a little bit. I'm just wondering... Okay. Because we were crabbing a little bit here. And this is also like a bug with the autopilot, or like it results from how they have coded it, that when you turn on autopilot, which we haven't yet, there will be a bigger and bigger crab angle added to the helicopter, like to the attitude, right? One second, I was thinking this is maybe ice, but no, it just scratches. We will see it once we will be on our way, like in the second half of the mission. And now you can also hear the whine of the transmission. It's the sound above us, but for me it's like a very low volume because I have set it to low volume, but normally it's really, really loud, and it's pretty much one of the few differences in sound between inside and outside. One nice thing is that this vibrates, and you will see in some phases of flight it will really strongly vibrate, and it looks great. Okay, let us go down. And here you can see, I like that you can see this very clearly, so it's different than the MH60 where it was just like a digital display, and if you didn't have like a very big monitor, right, it was really difficult to see. Yeah, you can fool around with this one. I have done some like river followings in the mountains, risky stuff, right? But it does have a delay, and there's like a lot of mass connected to it, so sometimes you might not react fast enough. It's not like the MH60, where you can pretty much fly it like an attack helicopter. This one you can try, but it doesn't have to work. Oops. Too much outside view, not enough flying. Okay. Always forgetting that when I'm switching to drone camera, it is disabling every control input, right? So also the input that you are using at your joystick when flying. Yeah, we still have the morning shadow here above the terrain. So it's pretty dark, at least on my monitor. Yeah, we don't have chase plane anymore, which is sad. I'm really hoping for like a Sim Update 5 to fix some of the problems with it, because I really liked it. But sadly, like especially the problem that you cannot see the pilots, or the pilot and the co-pilot if you have one, in 2024 planes, aircraft, right, was getting really annoying after a time. If you fly like big things that where you barely can see the cabin and the pilots, then it's not a problem. But if you are flying a lot of GA, it really stands out. Plus, it was introducing all of those bugs with the Learjet from FlySimWare that I really like to fly. So. Okay, let me just trim it out, because now we are too careful when coming close. Now let's hope this will work nicely, because with those sling cargos from the Miltech hub, if you are too close to it when picking it up, so if you do it too perfectly, okay, it will also not register. So sometimes it's just easier to kind of generally hover over it than directly over it to pick it up. Can I see it? Yeah. Okay, and we have it. Now I really need to watch out to not overspeed it, because it's really easy in this one. As I said, it needs sometimes a lot of time to get going, but once it gets going, it can accelerate really fast. And here we have to watch out to not go over those 130 knots, right, as you can see above. Oops, too much. So there are pretty nice physics connected to those boxes. You have probably also seen it in the highlights from the Bell 206 flights, right? It's a pretty nice effect. And now we already need to watch out because we are already at 120, right? And the threshold was 140. Okay, so let's reduce the power. Yeah, I'm kind of paranoid with the speed here, because I don't want to run this mission again. I don't want to overspeed. Okay, and we can use the... Oops. We can use the autopilot modes. We just need to see the back here. Okay, nice. We can lower the nose a little bit, and sadly the autopilot is not as refined, so like both the realistic one, both of the functions you get and the implementation, as the one in the CohenSim products. So the CohenSim products have like many other faults, okay, but the autopilot implementation is really great. Let me try to stabilize it more or less. And now heading mode and barrow altitude hold. Okay. Now let's just observe the speed. Let's make sure it's on. Yeah, we have both of those. And let's observe this one. It cannot cross this. Okay, maybe. Let me show it to you from the outside. Let's hope that we will not overspeed when it's happening. Okay, let's go inside for a second just to check the speed. Okay. So this is interesting. Here you can see that actually, despite the Miltech mission hub and the helicopter coming from one developer, this looks back. But in the Bell, I guess I got lucky because it was perfectly attaching to the bottom of the helicopter, right? Okay, but at least we are flying. So now I will show you this heading steering. And sadly, the more you will use it, the more the helicopter will crab. Okay, it will not straighten out, even if it's like very weak wind. Okay, I think we can continue here. Yeah, so the detail on those boxes is great. And I like how like the net wraps around those wooden parts, right? Very nicely done. And it's also nice that it's physics enabled, right? And it reacts to the speed. Yeah, nice job. And we can see the pilots. Pretty cool. Okay, so this is fine. We can turn off the landing lights. No longer needed. And we can also close the hook hatch, right, that we had below. So door, and here, this one. It's also pretty nice animation here. I was hoping the hook would attach to it, but like sadly no. Okay, and with this, I think we will just jump ahead a little bit, okay? And we see each other once we will be closer to the objective. So guys, interesting change of events. Apparently, for some reason, we have lost the cargo when I asked the autopilot to do the turn around the mountains here, and it's now floating over the water. So this has never happened to me, but it's pretty interesting. So let's see if this will really work to pick it now up, right? Or if it's like bugged for the mission now. It's interesting because I have also asked the developer, Miltech, what the triggers are for the slink load, scenario pretty much activity that is implemented. And they said it's just bringing it from A to B, right? So there's nothing more to it, so like no vertical speed and no speed at all when dropping it off that you have to watch out for. So it's also strange that we did lose it when doing the corner here. So pretty much I changed the heading with the heading mode in the autopilot, and it has made like a sharp turn, I guess. And this is how we lost it. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so it's good that they have like installed some floating devices to the cargo. Apparently, they knew what is coming. I'm looking at the radar altimeter that is on the left of the HSI. So the radio one, so. Yeah, with this big helicopter, it's hard to know when it is like below you, when it will register as being below you. So 10 feet is already probably too low. Okay, so let's gently turn. Okay, so let's try it again. You're already pretty low. Yeah, but at least the sides are great. Okay. A nice unexpected complication here. Okay. Okay, let's make sure that we will go directly above it. Okay, nice. And our crew was able to attach it again. So So if somebody asks, nothing has happened here, okay? Okay, and we have it attached again. Yeah, interesting. It's nice that you can lose it and then still have a chance of retrieving it, right? Okay, so now I will continue trying to do more gentle turns starting from now on. It's interesting because I was transporting those link loads before and I never had this problem. So I guess here I was just like unlucky and the turn was too sharp, I guess. Okay, so as was planned, see you when we will be closer to the destination. Okay, guys, and we are close to the destination. So maybe to talk about what I said about like Coensim helicopters and Miltech helicopters. It's kind of like two philosophies. Because with Coensim, it seems like they just create like a normal helicopter flight model, right? And then put the autopilot and the stabilization on top of it. That is kind of fighting all of the normal behaviors of the helicopter, which doesn't always work. Sometimes it does a little bit strange stuff. That saying the sim is not like fully prepared for it, right? So they have to improvise a lot. And with Miltech, it seems like they just built it from ground up to react like it would with the stabilization on. So for me, it feels a little bit less realistic. Just because it kind of feels like the flight model would be a little bit gutted, I guess, from the normal like behaviors that you expect from a helicopter. That thing in this one it's like really hard to judge because it's not only heavily stabilized, right? It's also like a twin rotor configuration, right? So it's also very, very stable, like from its nature, right? Okay, so this seems to be our destination. So let's just move around to avoid all of those trees. Will be probably the best to approach from the side of the water. We're getting fast here. Okay, I'll just slowly descend. This is always like a problem with my collective, because I don't have one. I just have like a small thrust slider at the side of my joystick. So it's very difficult to control the vertical speed in this case. And also the load, the slink cargo that we have is also kind of changing the behavior of the helicopter. And I'm not sure if it didn't introduce some strange trim, because I do have the tendency to roll to the left after I have used the autopilot. That saying, I did use the trim reset button, so it shouldn't be the case. But still, seems to be a thing. So here we would probably be in vortex state already. So I just can't get like a descent speed that would be gentle enough to avoid it. Okay. And we can just drop it here. Maybe not in the water. Close to this relief center here. Okay, so still over the water. It's always strange with this helicopter because it's so long. So it feels like we should be above ground for a long time already. Okay, so now what happens, I will try to deliver it, but it didn't work with the bell. I did check the whole mission and I have no idea why it didn't work with the bell, so if it doesn't work now, we will just assume that it has worked, right, and we will just continue back home. Either way, it will drop the cargo, from what I could see. It will probably just not register, despite us being like well within the dropout area, which is around this building. But still, at least we will have nice fun when flying this helicopter. I think it should be already on the ground, the cargo. But we will see in a second. Yeah, so now we have... Oh, I don't want to pick it up again. I wanted to deliver it. Okay. It might be something with this specific mission, I don't know. I have like redone all of the triggers in it, make sure all of the areas are fine, and this is the trigger that like hundreds of people use in their missions, and it's always working, so I'm not sure why it's not here. Like with the bell, I was trying to deliver it like on the roof of the building, on the other side of the building, on all of the sides of the buildings, and for some reason this mission is not registering the delivery. So I would just deliver it like this. Yep, and now it's delivered. No, don't pick it up. Don't. Oh, okay. And now it will be just staying on the ground. Let me just show you. Oops. It's here. So we have delivered it perfectly because the area is pretty large. Okay, so let's just say that we have done our task. And now I will just show you some more adventurous flying, I guess. I will not pick up the sling load. We will just have some fun with the helicopter then. There's a nice, like, beautiful mountain valley, I guess, hard to say here. So we will just try to go through it. And now without the load, we can have some fun. Let me just try not to crash while having fun. Okay, now if we go over 140 knots, nothing wrong will happen, which is like very liberating after what we have done here. Yeah, so when it comes to the project, right, because my plan was to fly the whole campaign, I will check out the next part, because it's a 5-part campaign and I'm really curious what else will happen. I don't know why this one objective doesn't work. So I have seen some feedback on the campaign, and it was like positive. So I just imagine it works for other people. Now you can see the shaking of the well, of this element, right? Is it the glare shield? Probably. Which is pretty cool. Let's make sure we can cross here. I was flying here before and had a lot of fun. It's hard to see something because of the sun. But we can do it. Okay, let me zoom out our map. And so we need to go here. Okay, makes sense. And it's a very stable platform, and like this is also how it's supposed to be. We can also try to cross the other mountains, so let's see. It looks pretty challenging to cross the ones before us, but why not? Okay, strange view. Yeah, it really looks great. I was thinking it looks a little bit dated in the beginning, but I think something that has changed all of those older aircraft for me is this new DLSS. It really makes a lot of old simulations, models, look really great. So much better than TAA. And it's the same with the Bell 206. I was also like amazed when I was recording the first mission with the Bell. It looked much better than with TAA. So actually, but like to make it work in this quality, I had to walk around a little bit and work around a little bit. Just a second. Need to decide which turn to take. I guess I take this one. Yeah, because I have set it, the LSS, to quality within MSFS, but when you set it to quality, you will get the old DLSS model, because the new one seems to only be turned on when you are on performance, or like this ultra performance or whatever. So you actually have to hack it a little bit. So I had to set it into quality in MSFS, but then in the drivers, in the NVIDIA drivers, I had to set it to override what MSFS is doing, and to use one of the newer models. I think they are called M and L, and so I have used the better one, I think, but this one I don't remember fully. So I kind of have a mix of quality in MSFS and one of the new models that are normally not for quality in the NVIDIA settings. Plus, I do have frame generation ×2, and I'm really happy with how it works. Yeah, some really nice terrain here. It's a shame that the mission didn't work out, but I guess either way I know what will happen, because I was checking it in the editor, this one part, right? So we haven't missed much. There was also like a second non-obligatory objective after dropping off the first cargo, and it was going to the port, the seaport, not far away from there, and getting a boat cargo. Okay, so this might have been fun, but we will see. Maybe in the other parts there will be like similar objectives, because I have only cheated and taken a look in this one because it was not working, so I have no idea what the other ones are. So we still have a chance to see something new. And this is also my plan. I'm not sure if I will change the helicopter for the next one. Actually, I do prefer to fly the Bell. but this is also lots and lots of fun and very unique. Yeah, and this view, wow. Okay, it was worth it. Okay, no, this is really cool. Okay, guys, so now I will just jump ahead using the magic, right, of cutting the video, and we will see each other once we will be close to the landing. Okay guys, so we are coming close to our destination. Actually, for the last few minutes, I was flying it only by hand and having some fun over the water and stuff. And like I said, that I prefer the Bell from Cohen Sim, but now I'm not sure anymore, because it was really pretty fun. And I really start appreciating this one. I have flown it like 6 times maybe. But it's really growing on me. So yeah, a pretty cool helicopter. Yeah, for sure I have more fun than flying the MH60. Maybe because of the view, that you can actually see something. Maybe because the stabilization is not as full as there, so this still feels more like a helicopter, like than the MH60. Just like really heavily automated. Yeah, but I think it's mostly the view. I just need to be able to see out in a helicopter, and then there's just not enough glass that you can see through. Yeah, let's make sure we will be at the correct. And what is happening here? Well, I think it's fine. There is always some wind on the approach here, but Yeah, but the views are just amazing. Too much trim. Trim, trim, trim. I'm always doing the same. After this like turn here, I'm decelerating too quickly. Come on, helicopter. I said I like you. Don't make me regret it. Yeah, I don't know. Normally it's so easy to steer, and the approaches are so nice, but I guess it's like brain freeze on my side of this approach. Yeah. So let's just hover taxi then. I'm actually not sure if it's designed for landing on the wheels, because the S76 is for sure, right? And there's even like a speed provided. I think it's 35 knots maximum, where you can just land it like a plane with like the handbrake off, right? But this one I'm not sure, so we'll just hover taxi and land it like a helicopter. And then I guess I can take a look into the checklist. Maybe there is something about landing with the wheels, well, on the wheels, right? And while driving. Yeah, the weather looks great, but it makes also a lot of areas dark. Yeah, let's maybe try to land on the famous rose here. Trying to remember that the cockpit is like far away from the center of the helicopter. The last moments are always the worst. And we do have a landing. Okay, so let's check the checklist if we can do it with without the handbrake. No, it should be locked, the steering before. No, so parking brake is required. Okay, so I guess we can also do like a rolling landing then. We just need to make sure we have the steering off. Okay, would make sense then. Okay. Let me just check. Cyclic trim switch to ground position. Oh, I didn't use it before, interesting. Cyclic trim switch. Okay. No, this is the collective. Cargo hook release, trigger release. Maybe it's one of those. Okay, so now I know I haven't done it before. Okay, so let's just shut down the engine. Okay, flight controls neutral. Okay, parking brake set is set. This switch goes to off. Okay. So the stabilization goes to off. APU switch goes to start. Okay. APU generator switch to on. Okay. Engine generator switch both to off, but let's just wait for the APU. Okay. Oh yeah, because they were on test. Okay. Hydraulic power transfer to on. Let's move those to ground. Okay. Crossfeed switch to off. Okay. Fuel pump switch all to off. Okay. Engine condition levers both to stop. Okay, we can go outside. Whoa, that was like a strange jump. Okay, seems to be a long process. Yeah, but the landing wasn't that bad. Almost on the line. Just needed to move left a little bit. Okay, so let's turn off the rest. So those fans here, doors. Okay, the backup power is here. Okay, APU generator switch goes to off. Okay, APU switch goes to off. Oops, not this way. And light switches all off. Okay, and we don't need this. And then, in the end, the battery switch. But before we do that, we can also open the doors. Yeah, nice, nice. Will it roll out for us? Yeah, nice. So we can do a last inspection here, check if everything is fine. Cannot enter here. There's a click spot. Was there a click spot? No. Guess I was seeing things. Okay. Okay, guys, so this was, let me get a nice view. So this was the Chinook from Miltech. Pretty nice. I like lots of it, and I also like that there are so many features. The mission not working was not connected to this helicopter, and also like it was also not working with the bell. That saying, we did the whole flight that we planned to do. We delivered the cargo, picked it up, so pretty much everything was as planned. It's just that the mission didn't register it, right? I will for sure fly more with this one, despite me not being a big fan of like military hardware. I mean, I'm fascinated by it, but like I don't really see many uses like in everyday flying. The Miltech Mission Hub is changing it a little bit, so maybe I will also use it. The nice thing about the missions here are that are some additional scripts here when you are running them, and you will have an additional interface here when running them. So this is pretty cool. And you also have additional hoist controls here. So if you run those missions and not the ones from the Mission Hub, then there is even more features here, which I think is also worth mentioning. Okay, guys, and with this nice view, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in future GA flying videos. Thank you, bye-bye.